Tonight on Undercurrents. Teen Watch.
Anytime he's mobile or stationary, we can track him.
No secrets for digital-age kids.
They're just watching you all the time.
Bands and brands. Brittany, Tommy, selling together.
Basically, he sponsors me, and I get all these free Tommy clothes. It's wonderful.
Hi, I'm Wendy Mesley, and this is Undercurrents. Tonight, a whole show about teens. Teens and trouble have always gone together, and every parent knows how hard it is to get information from their teen. Where are you going? Out? How are things? Okay. And done your homework? Well, now technology is offering new and intrusive ways for anxious parents to keep track. It's 7 a.m. in Stony Creek, Ontario. The last kid is on the school bus. They're on their way to Salt Fleet High. The driver flicks a switch and turns on the surveillance camera, recording everything that happens on the bus.
Gives you an awkward feeling. I don't know. Makes you nervous.
It's like weird because like you never know who's really watching you.
It's almost like an invasion of privacy. They're just watching you all the time.
These kids may not feel comfortable with it, but Vice Principal Ted Kosner sure is.
In the United States, you have the Columbine incident. You have incidents out west. There was a shooting there. There is a concern that something could happen on the buses.
And not just on the buses, there are 8 cameras at Salt Fleet High.
If you look at the exits, especially the exits down the hall, the cameras are there. You can see with the lights on them. So pretty well all the exits have cameras. And if you want to follow me, we'll go to the office and I'll show you the monitors where you can see what's going on. Here's the monitor. But depending on the camera, you can indicate through the various buttons which camera or which hall you'd like to see.
Outside, inside, the cameras are always watching. Right up in there, that's the camera?
And that scans this hallway and then down this hallway here.
Across the country, another high school, another vice principal, and more cameras.
And you can see the other 2 cameras along the hallway. So this area is pretty well covered as far as surveillance.
There are 19 cameras supervising these hallways. Brian Ansley gave us the tour of New Westminster Secondary. And you record on all of them?
Yeah.
Fred Matthews is a Toronto-based psychologist who's concerned about the impact of technology on teenagers.
When a camera goes into a school or on a school bus or a home where a child is, kids will report feeling a number of different things. One is, you don't trust me. And another is, I must be really bad in doing something really dangerous that you've got to put a camera on me all the time. Because think about in the other contexts where we use cameras, for shoplifters, to watch prisons, inmates, to control traffic.
What would you be watching out for here?
Well, if there's a physical confrontation, some kind of disturbance between kids at lunch or on break, we would be able to recall that and see who initiated that.
What do you think of having all those cameras in your school?
You're just like replacing a person with a camera. I mean, if it's just in public hallways, right?
People around the school say it's like invading their privacy. They're seeing stuff that they shouldn't see. I mean, really, they're just in the hall, so if you're not doing anything wrong, there should be nothing wrong with it.
Hi, guys. You go to New Westminster?
But does it stop students from doing anything wrong? We asked some students at the local hangout.
You don't get beat up in the school, you get beat out the school.
And plus, people don't fight in front of the cameras because they know where they end up to, so they would fight like in another place instead of in front of the camera.
They're a waste of money.
Yeah, because like they don't look at them anyways.
So does anyone actually sit here and watch?
No. Well, when our safety and security officer is in here, he does, of course, watch it.
So you're not actually surveilling the kids all the time?
No, the camera is.
2 hours south of Vancouver in Washington State, you'll find Arlington High. There are no cameras here, but there's a different kind of surveillance going on.
And what you see at the beginning, the introductory screen, is just an overall summary of the students' performance in their classes.
Math teacher Jim Bassett has developed an internet grade tracker that lets parents log on and check up on their kids' assignments and their test results.
Every student has a unique password, and the only way to get into the software is with this password. So let me go ahead and type that in.
Uh-oh.
Yep, we've got problems in one class. The neat feature about this is you can actually go in and look at the teacher's grade book. You're actually now seeing individual scores on individual assignments and tests, Anytime there's an assignment missing, you see a red asterisk. So
he would have got 43 out of 100.
43 out of 100 on that particular test, right?
What does senior class president Justin Winterhalter think about the grade tracker?
It's all right, I guess. For the parents, not for the kids, because I don't really like her snooping on what I'm doing.
Is that what it feels like?
Well, kind of, sort of. I guess it's good, but it's just like she's always looking at my grades and stuff and see what I'm missing. So she's telling me, do this assignment, do that assignment, but actually I'm only missing one assignment.
On the other side of town, Justin's mom already knows that. To her, this is powerful information.
I can use it as a discipline tool in a way. I hate to say that, and I hate to hold it over their heads, but it's very, very effective that way.
Kind of is not cool.
Not cool? Why?
Because like our parents can find out our grades all year round instead of just like the report cards.
This too high tech now, because like before you had to wait for a little card to come home and then they read it and then they yell at you. But now my parents go like, all right, every Friday we're gonna check your grades and see if you can do anything over the weekend. And I don't like that.
What do you think of it?
It's helpful. Helps me remember what I have to do because I'm not the greatest student.
What else are you hoping to add?
We're hoping to add attendance information so that you would be able to check and see if your student was in class. You know,
at that particular
at
moment?
that particular moment. And
So if they said, hey, Mom, I'm going to school, and then you thought they were at the mall with the other kids?
you come on after school starts, and you should see something whether or not they're in class. So
Busted.
Busted.
What has it done to the relationship with your parents?
A lot of fights. Yelled at a lot. Threats.
Just wonder what it does to that bond if a 17-year-old thinks that their parents are kind of snooping on them.
That's a good point. I think that that's bound to happen. A parent or a student may feel that division because of the invasion of privacy. On the other hand, as an educator, anything we can do to contribute to the success of the student in class is worth it, I think.
Another computer, another mom. Ricky Varslavans in Richmond Hill, Ontario, is worried about what her 18-year-old son may be finding on the internet.
I don't want him to become a statistic of some type, you know, of being lured or meeting people that I don't want him to be with.
She's here at a net patrol class, learning how to use her home computer to track where her son hangs out online.
I'm going to show you some files to look into so you can check on your children and see where they've been and what they're doing.
But is she going to tell her son that she plans to track him on the net?
No, I'm not going to tell him that. No, I'll go in there and see where he's been, and if he's been where he's not supposed to be, then there's a need for a discussion.
10 days later, Ricky's found the need to tell her son.
I've been at every night, really, since I've taken the course.
And she agrees to show us where her son goes.
If you go up here into the URLs, it'll give you a list of all the different sites that the kids have been into. See if we can get an idea of where my son's been into. There.
So your son's been in here?
He's been in here. I thought maybe if they know what I'm doing, then they're not going to go into some of these sites here that we're finding right now, but obviously he has.
Do you feel funny when you log in and read where he's been? Where they've been?
No.
No?
No. But I guess that's me. That's who I am. I mean, when I pulled up this one particular site, I was embarrassed because you're sitting here and you see where he's been or somebody's been. But no, it doesn't bother me. I think I have the right.
But how far should those rights go? Especially now that technology lets parents eavesdrop on their kids at home.
This little unit, you plug this into the phone jack and actually listen while the phone's being used.
They come to stores like this, Spy City in Vancouver, where Darren Levis has all the latest gadgets for any parent wanting to become a do-it-yourself PI.
I think a lot of them, you know, after seeing certain, you know, coverage on different rave parties and stuff, start to get really paranoid. And they, you know, maybe they assume to begin with that their kids are taking drugs and use the equipment to verify that they're not.
Equipment like this. The telephone manager records and stores up to 2,000 calls coming in and out of your house.
So if you go away for a month and you hook this up in your house, you get home and you'll have a full log of all the calls your kids have made.
And they'd never know?
Including received. No, they would never know.
Parents can even scan their kids' cell phones, plant hidden cameras and wireless microphones. And for parents wanting to eavesdrop on their kids in their bedroom, a through-the-wall listening device.
So if your kid's room was right next to yours, you could sit in your room and listen to what was going on next door.
I would ask any parent that's thinking about putting technology in the bedrooms of their homes, how would you feel if that same technology was using in your place of business, in your place of work, if your boss was spying on you? It changes the relationship you have with your child, one from trust, intimacy, building a history of strong communications, to one of control.
But Darren Levis had one customer who was desperate.
There was one lady who had, she suspected her kids of actually ripping her off, and so we rented her a pen microphone and a recorder, and she hid this under the couch cushion, which does all the recording. And she left her kids alone in the room and let them start to talk.
And what did she find?
She found that her kid had actually corroborated with her friends and taken a bunch of stuff out of their house and made it look like it was a robbery and sold it all to a pawn shop so they could get money for their drugs.
Parents have said to me they've put nanny cameras in their homes with their kids because they thought their kids were smoking dope. Now, in fact, they caught their kids partying, and in fact, they were smoking dope. But once the child realized that they had been filmed and that the parents had done this, it destroyed all the trust that those kids had in their parents. Now, one could argue, well, it's good they were found, it's illegal, but in fact, what they do is the friends just never go to the house anymore. They go elsewhere.
But soon, there may be nowhere to hide. Meet Brian Beauchamp of ITS Consulting. His high-tech computer surveillance tools can track kids anywhere, anytime. In his brother's van, Beauchamp has planted a tiny tracking device so he can track everywhere his brother goes from his desktop computer. Where's your brother now?
Looks like he's just on satellite drive here.
Or just turning, perhaps,
He's just turning.
And while he's done undercover work to trap criminals and a few unfaithful spouses, lately he's been hired by some very wealthy, very determined parents. If I suspected my kid was selling drugs, could I check where he went at night in his car?
We can do that. We have satellite imagery. We can overlay it on top of our maps. Anytime he's mobile or stationary, we could track him, what clubs he frequents, or a number of things. He went to a bank machine or got gas.
Beauchamp can also show parents how to spy on their teens with remote camera technology that they can access through their laptop. So I go away on holidays and I want to check out what my teenagers are up to at home. What could I do?
You could have a hidden camera in your home and dial your home number and have a video connection and send video images over a phone line.
So I would see actually what they were doing at that moment?
So you would actually see real time what's somebody walking around the kitchen or wherever else you had the camera hidden in the house, real time.
So if they were having a party while I was away, I'd know.
You'd know the truth.
Busted.
Was not told, yeah.
They're worried about your safety. Invading your private life isn't a way to keep you safe. Yeah. You know, as far as family life and in your own home, in your own bedroom, on the phone, I'd say that's an invasion of privacy.
I grew up believing that, like, your parents should trust you, and it mean that they aren't trusting me if they're watching me constantly.
Next on Undercurrents.
I think about 9 or 10 at Walmart, so we're going to be signing ads.
The Moffats at Walmart.
They're being sponsored by Procter & Gamble.
Piggybacking is when the proven success of one product is used to promote another. And let me tell you, it's the hottest way to reach teens.